Have I told you I have a fanny pack and I love it?
Do you really? I could see them coming back.
Oh, they're so useful, man. You just have all your stuff. It's great. Your pockets aren't just bulging.
I mean, there's really only one choice for summer. It's either cargo pants or a fanny pack. So I'm just...
You got the sandals. You got what is it? It's sandals with the socks, or it's like the New Balance. I suppose is like the dad.
New Balance, yep. Good Crocs and socks in there too, I think.
But that's like there's some just like crimes against fashion. But then there's actual. There's like dad attire, which would be the. I saw there's this great video where a new father walks into a room and laid out upon a bed for him is just the dad attire.
Yeah.
And his eyes light up like, oh, am I ready? Behind him in the doorway is his dad, just like nodding slowly.
Do it.
And he's like putting it all through. He's got like the New Balance. He's like, he hikes, he puts on the socks, but his dad's like, no, higher. so he hikes up his socks. And then he's like, am I ready? And last thing he's like, tuck it in. And he tucks in his crew top. And the last scene is just like a slow pan away shot of the two of them just sitting there like cross-legged in the most dad looking appearance you've ever seen.
This happens to all of us. It's just it's a milestone.
At some point it's just like, this is pretty comfortable. Oh no. What have I become?
That's it. Don't look at me, kids.
The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 11-year-old and a 9-year-old.
New 7-year-old, it's kind of funny to have the distance between them, because they're not actually like 3 years apart, they're 2 years apart, but for these however many months, they'll have that little delta going on.
Sure, the other younger one will let the older one know. It'll be like, hey, closing in.
Any day now. Oh, we did for the birthday, we also did the measurements on the railing, just like we drew on a board to see how tall they'd gotten. And the little one had caught up more. He had gained on the older one. It's like, ooh. And of course, the dad angle, it's like, I guess he's eating more vegetables and sleeping more. Just like, suppose if you want to keep the lead, you better sleep better and have more vegetables.
The little one's got the DLC. I'm sorry.
So I will talk about the birthday in a little bit, but we got to kick it off fresh. We are in June. That means we are in summer. That means we are in beer territory.
Yay.
The new dad, the summer of beer returns yet again. It feels like we started the show with drinking.
It does feel like that, right? I mean, our opening is the adult beverages are poured. So,
right.
I mean, it's just origin story here.
But at least official summer beer, I think, has been going for a couple of years. We do this every single year. New dads, if you have any beer picks, like any particular brew that you discovered that is your go-to, is a favorite, is a diamond in the rough, we want to hear about it. We will do our best to find it and get it onto the show. Give you credit and a shout out for doing it. So if you find us on Twitter at NewDadGaming or our website newdadgaming.com, send along your recommendations. We've had some incredible ones in the past, like ones that have actually made it into my rotating roster.
Yeah.
A few of Jeff's have also made it into my rotation because it was good. And to kick it off on my side, it's actually I'm going with the Hazy Mariner. So that is let me bring up the screen for that. So that is a cloudy IPA. I was trying to find there's a New England style pale ale. That's what I was looking for.
Okay. Yep.
Anyways, quite hoppy, but not obnoxiously so. This was actually a recommendation from my brother, Tim, and one that, again, anytime I kind of come around to it, I always wanted to pick it up. So he'd recommended it to the show, liked it very much, makes it into my rotation, and I thought I'd kick off the year with that from a recommendation that we'd previously gotten. So that's the Hazy Mariner from Four Poets. Definitely worth a pickup if you can find it in your local beer dealer.
Nice.
What do I call it?
Dealer sounds like somebody just rolls up and be like, hey, come on out. See what Trevor gave you for the beer of the week.
Want a cold one? Opens up his jacket. Just a 6-pack. What are you drinking here, Jeff?
I am drinking the Collective Arts Ransack the Universe. Hilarious name, love it. And I also love the artwork on it. Obviously, Collective Arts is like one of those things where I'm drawn to the can, the label, the book cover of the beer. So this one is an IPA. It says it's like full of like, tropical fruits and notes with some slight bitterness to it. and it's quite enjoyable. It's a little on the heavy side. I like took a couple of drinks,
Yeah.
and it's sitting at 6.8. So 6.8 alcohol on this one is just a little strong.
I remember we got called out on Twitter because some fan of the show had posted a photo of like a 20 or like something to the effect of like 16 to 20%
Yeah.
alcohol. It's like he's just
That-
like embarrassingly hides his 20% alcohol. Here's Jeff and I lightweights being like,
Yeah.
whoa, 6%. I have noticed, I don't know if other dads have noticed out there too, but it's just the alcohol percentage goes up every single year. Like I was trying to find ones for the show today and nothing was under 6%.
Yeah, no, it's
Anything kind of interesting is like just jacked up with alcohol now.
yeah. I don't know what it is. It's like they think the collective public have adapted to the alcohol content and then slowly work it up. So we'll
It's
see.
like life is getting worse, so just like we better keep.
That's right. Blame COVID. That's all it is.
There it is. I will say, like I've never been one to know my hops from one to the other, but
No.
because it was contained in my favorite beer, I have discovered that I really like Galaxy hops for
Yes,
some reason.
it's in this one too.
Yeah, so
Galaxy hops.
that's why I noticed it. It was just like, oh, like I
Yeah.
don't want, not much of a snob when it comes to these type of things, but I have found it's like if it's hoppy, but there's Galaxy hops,
Right.
I actually like it. Guess I'm just maturing. I'm becoming
That's
a dad.
right.
What
You've
can
been
you
a
say?
connoisseur from summer of beers that we have.
Oh, so what works well with a beer is a warm, sunny day, and that's what we had for my son's birthday. No beers though, because it crossed my mind. It's like how much would the parents adore a cold one? Because we were out in a park, is where we ended up holding it.
Oh yeah. That
So
would be
like dad
amazing.
dad
I hope
cheat
you
code.
did. Yeah.
Imagine you go to a kid's birthday party. Okay, here he is. I have to stand around here for 2 or 4 hours, or you can I can just leave, which some people did. Full props. That's a great move.
Yeah.
But some people just kind of hung the whole time. Imagine if I brought him around to the side and there's just this cooler of beers sitting there.
I mean,
Damn, that'd be awesome.
it would be like, no, that's a kid cooler. This is the other cooler you want. And then just have the chairs set up there, or like sit on the grass there, and yeah, kids go have fun. It's great. I'll be
Here's a-
over here.
Here's a cold one. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a freezy. Wrong cooler. Get you. So it was a bit of a roller coaster. It was a fantastic success. Everything went really well. I was really grateful and happy for that. Great friends my son's has, so that was really nice to see. I did it to myself. I did not follow my own advice, which has very much been just like, don't overthink it. Kids will be kids. They're going to be fine. Just like make it low stress. Don't get too concerned about it. But as we approached, the thought that hit me was that my decisions and my actions were going to have a social impact on him.
Okay.
Now that's a bit stupid because he's a 7-year-old, and it's
Right.
just like, you know what I mean. We're not talking. He's not like 16 and at the height of his social prime in high school. Your dad sucks, man.
Yeah.
So it's not going to play out that way. But it still just dawned on me that what I do, if the kids really hate it, right? Like it would almost make a memory for them that would be kind of against my son. So like as we're leading up, like I threw away my own advice and I just started to get real nervous about it. I started getting real worried about it. Probably put in a bit more time than I would have liked to into it. So
It's a lot
it was
of
all
pressure on you. It's like,
I created my own pressure.
Yeah.
None of them asked for it, but that's what I did to myself.
Yeah.
The thing I will say, like, it was all put to rest though, because some of the boys showed up, and like magnets, it's just like they formed together as a posse, and they took off like a rocket. I hardly saw them the whole time.
Nice. Okay.
I had to do nothing. I told, like, it's just like I could have basically said. And the only reason we ended up at a park, I really did want to go to a trampoline park because it would have been fun. It's a cool birthday experience. Bounce around, like it's just it becomes the story of it. It's kind of like your baseline is taken care of.
Right.
The park is like, is it going to rain? Is there going to be space? Like, is there going to be bees? Like what are you dealing with, right?
Yeah.
There's
All
a lot
valid concerns. Yeah.
a lot of variables, but anyways, it panned out. They just they got together, shot off like a rocket. I barely saw them. They took care of themselves. So I was overthinking it. I got into my own head as we were approaching it, but everything went great. I don't think you have to worry so much because kids are great. They will find a way. The only ones of my preparations that actually worked out, the food and everything worked out well for us. Pizza, we had one kid with an allergy, so we went to a particular place. My son had a dairy thing, but kids love the pizza. Cupcakes instead of cake because we didn't want to have forks and utensils and stuff like that. So all those choices worked out peachy. That was very good. I was very happy with it.
I will recommend cupcakes all the time. We have done that every single time, and you can even make an event out of it where you get a whole bunch of sprinkles and stuff, and everyone decorates their own. So then you burn some time.
There it is.
Every kid decorates their own, so they're not upset, and they make it how they want. Too much sprinkles, whatever. They just go nuts. So yes, cupcakes, a win in my book all the time.
Man, the generosity of parents too, like the gifts he got, I couldn't believe it. He was spoiled. Like it was just like it was a king's bounty.
What are we talking here? Remember we had a couple episodes ago. I'm like, what is the norm for a birthday present? I think we were around like $30.
I think these all seemed in the 30 range.
Okay,
so
right.
there was some awesome Lego sets. One was like a Batman. Another one was a Lotus race car, which looked awesome. There's this huge one. It was like this shark surfing set.
Yeah, okay.
I'm talking like big, like about the size of like your chest wide, and and these sharks go on this one wheel that spins about, and you go fast, and it rips up, does a little jump, and comes down.
Okay.
There was a book which I thought was awesome. Someone actually brought clothes, which is a bold choice, but it was awesome, like very nice. It was just through like a egg, like a dinosaur egg, everything. It was fantastic. The generosity was like I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. Okay. But the key point again was just like the friends saw each other from school. Slam, they all got together, boom, they go off to the park and they had an amazing time. So
you're your own worst enemy there, Trevor. It all worked out.
Dads, don't listen to yourself.
Listen to our show now and just know that it's all okay. Yeah. We said so.
So now moving on. So Jeff, you know that I want you to be happy, right?
That's right. I hope so. Right.
Right? Like we're on the show here, we're supporting one another. I want you to feel happy and feel success and things like this, right?
Right.
So describe what happened in your first game of Apex Mobile.
Yeah. So Trevor, well, let's just put some context. Trevor suggested, hey, let's download this game and we can talk about it on the show. I'm like, sure, why not? So I download it, Apex Legends. I'm like, I'm not good at these games, whatever. Go in there. I go with a team. We rack up kills like crazy. Become the champion. Number 1 here. My kill ratio is like the highest I've ever seen. It was a great time. I loved it. It was fun. So I had a great first time. I don't know what your impressions were, but I had a blast. I was happy.
Okay.
You are a success. That's it.
Let's see if I can hold this up on the screen.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can see the word
yeah.
champion there, and that's my guy in the middle.
Right.
So I load up Apex Legends, and I get put with a team. And we're racking up kills. We're doing great. And I became champion. And we won our first game. Now, Jeff, I don't know much about us, you and me as gamers. But the thought that happened...
Right?
means to me that I think everybody gets to win their first one.
I think so, too. Or we have a whole bunch of dads playing at once. And it's just some that are caught off guard. They're driving or something. And we're the ones in there racking up.
Okay. So I'll say that. So I don't know what I'd like to know your experience of it. So firstly, I don't mean to rain on your parade, but I am 90% sure that everybody who plays it for the first time gets a win and their first place.
I mean, it would make sense from
it was way too easy. It was like, I am not good at this game. But what I want to ask you though is the 2 squad mates. Do you think they were human? Because mine, I would bet money that my people were actually human, because some of their actions were weird, like off, like non-computer, right?
Yeah, there were mistakes and stuff, like where I think the computer, like you could try to fake that stuff, but they'd be more methodical about it, right? I absolutely do think they're human. Yeah.
So what this means is that they are and they were like level, like I'm level 1, but they were level 13, 16, whatever.
Up there. Yep.
I think that they're sending ringers down to these first levels. It's like, all right, listen, you have to carry this guy to a victory, okay? Because the other thing I'd noticed is that they would kill, in a few cases, they would kill them, so they'd be down, like crawling.
Yeah.
But they'd never take the final kill. that always came to, for the most part, that came to me because they're trying to make sure my score was number one.
Right.
So what I find fascinating is like, how does the manpower work? It's like if you and I kept playing and we got to level 15,
Right.
would a quest come up saying, we will give you like $50 worth of coins if you can take this noob, this like level 1, and make him champion. But we're going to put you against simple bots, but just like, carry him.
Would it? Okay, so yeah, that's a good question, because would it be outright with it and just say, hey, here's some credits if you do this, or it would be like, okay, our matchmaking behind the scenes is going to change a little bit. You're going to have this one player that's level 1, and it'll be one match.
I would take that, except that if that was true and he was like a true level 15 and he was trying as hard as he could, he would be champion. He would get the most kills. For sure, right? And I don't know about your guy. Like, I was doing terribly. And the medic, every time I'd get near a box, would run over to me and toss me as many shields and health packs as possible. Like, she just kept loading me up.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, so it just like...
See, my team just went off in like different directions. They didn't even stick with me. And then they would come back, right? Because they think, well, the circle closes in and pushes you together. But I would be like, what's the one that you play? And you have that seeker kind of technique where you can see the enemies. Like, that's all I would be doing. So I'd be flagging all the enemies. Yeah. And then they go run to the enemies. I'm like, well, now it doesn't look like such a good win. It just looks like it was a give. I don't want to play this garbage.
There's some little part of me that didn't want to bring it up to you. But I found that being the case.
No, it's a good design decision, I think, because you feel great after it. You're like, I gotta play another one. I never did, but I gotta play another one.
Even knowing it, like, I was still pretty happy. I was like, this is fun. That's great. Thanks for the little confidence boost. That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks for the little gaming dad win right there. That's nice. I tell you, I was struggling. I was like, do I bring it up on the show? Just let Jeff have his win.
No, I would. That is so interesting. Now, okay, see, now a lot is going through my mind. I'm like, what would happen if I just went into another game? Because I never did.
Yeah, I would think I don't know if you'd be carried again, or maybe they would still pair you with like nicer players, but they'd kind of like slope you off eventually. So first they're pairing you with like 15, like level 15, so they're very good. Yeah. And then maybe eventually they're pairing you with like 10s, and then they're going to pair you with 5s. So eventually you have to start pulling your weight.
Well, that'll never happen. Joke's on them.
Anyways, this game is interesting. So if you're into first person shooters, sort of like a Fortnite but without the nonsense of the building or the as many teens, it plays stunningly well on mobile. Like it is a gaming achievement how well this thing works on a phone. It's ridiculous.
And they do have a lot of control or like motion functions that you can choose from. I remember going to the tutorial and you could choose like, how to turn your character to the third person character or like the first person view. But I did struggle a little bit with aiming on a phone. I'd rather a controller or like the Backbone or something that you have where it's a little bit easier to work with. But
yeah, aiming is wild, but still good. It's just for gaming dads. I'd recommend it. Like it is truly free. I mean, there's pay packs. There's like the usual season passes, but ultimately that doesn't stop you from. It is not pay to win. You can't buy better guns. Like it's just in the game, right? So it is purely cosmetic. So check it out. Like if you're a bit more attuned to the competitive shooters, it's stunning how well this works on mobile. And as we know with gaming dads, anything on the go mobile for a quick session is always a win.
Yeah, now, it's a win unless it's given to you.
Yeah.
And then it's just a fake win.
I tell you this, gaming dad, if you want a little confidence boost, download it and go through your first match and just let these angels of gunfire like carry you to a victory.
I would really like people to post their screenshots and see if they get the same, almost exact same numbers. Just see how that winds up.
Yeah, any gaming dad who does it, please post it. We'd love to retweet it. We'll get a thread going of gaming dads. Yeah. Like, hey, look at all these winner gaming dads. We're amazing at this.
We're starting a clan. We're so good. Esports, here we come.
Yeah. So speaking of mobile titles, the other big one that came out and actually ended up launching early. I think it was like a day early, which was kind of an interesting take.
Yeah.
Diablo Immortal, the infamous Diablo Immortal, finally launched. And yeah, there's a lot to say about this one. It's super high quality.
Yes.
Like it is a straight up Diablo. Like this is like Diablo 3 artwork, story, voiceover, gear, everything else. Like it is wild that this thing is on a phone. Per playtime, it's pretty fun. Mash buttons, kill demons. Hey, this sword's slightly better. Kill some more demons. Hey, this sword's even a little bit better.
Yeah.
Repeat, repeat, repeat. Stories there, like it's all right there, but just looming over it the entire time is just like in the distance is this horrendous storm of monetization and microtransactions. And I think I'm about 2 to 3 hours in and still just innocently having a fun little Diablo time.
Going through a field of daisies. Just woo,
fun
look
little,
at me.
fun little jaunt through hell.
Yeah.
You, I think, are farther and has the poison of microtransactions started to drip into your experience?
Yeah, so I'm about level 31. So I think 6-7 hours probably a good, maybe even a little bit beyond that. And I will say the microtransactions are now more in your face. And it's kind of disheartening because, like you were saying, like fantastic, like port of like Diablo 3 onto your phone, right? Like I would almost play this with my kids on their phones if it could handle it, but I won't because of how egregious the microtransactions are getting it. And it's not like it's just like you can turn them off and never look at them. They slip them into even like the world. So like I completed a major quest line and I forget what it was called, like Wolfsbane or something. And it said, congratulations, you defeated this guy and you're good and everyone's saved, and act now because you'll get 30% off this loot box specific to this quest. I'm like, no, you're doing it. Why'd you do that? When it like,
it's gross.
It takes you out of the world. You're like, I was fine just playing along. You can have your store sitting over here. I'll never go to it. But like, as soon as it starts to slip in, you're like, why did you do that? And it'll only get progressively worse as I'm seeing like my levels aren't gaining as much anymore. And my gear's kind of staying where it needs to stay. And I've seen like the resources, like it kind of walks you through how to upgrade stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, here's your currency to do that. Now you're at 0 and you're going to stay there for a while unless you buy this thing.
That makes me want to drop it. Like what I was hoping was that, well, do you think you can get through the whole, like the basic story before it encroaches, or do you even get that far before they start to go in? Because is there even a linear path to like a story that you could actually win?
I mean, I think you could play the entire story, deal with those pop-up windows that say, hey, your daily reward is available, or here's a sale, and ignore those and continue on the story and be fine. I think you could do that. I've never died once, so I don't know if your deaths cost something to come back. Do you know what I mean? Like I could see that mechanic come in, but I think you're good if you just want to experience the story and be done with it. Anything after that, I wouldn't say. Like it's even banned in some countries, like the amount of loot boxes that are in here. So I think that's what's so frustrating is that there's such a good thing here, and if they just ported it over, premium game charged $19.99. Because let's say Final Fantasy, right? Charge Final Fantasy prices and just kind of be done with it. They would make a ton. I think a lot of people would be happy and it would just spread. But obviously,
even just like, again, like if it's like if it was like the base of Diablo 3 or Diablo 2, and there's like extra modes or DLC or cosmetic stuff, like you can still get your microtransaction fix.
Yeah.
But to poison I heard a really great point saying that like it is commonly said that microtransactions, like, you don't have to buy anything. They're not forcing you to buy anything. But very much to your point, where they refuse to launch it in 2 countries because you weren't allowed to send it with microtransactions.
Yeah.
That shows that the microtransactions are so integral to the experience that it can't be removed. Right, so it's not just a cosmetic thing. Like it's very much like a core mechanic. in how they, drag it through.
Yeah, and they've done the math that it's cheaper for them not to launch in those countries, right? And not bother taking the mechanic out and just have the rest of the world, you know, pay up, so to speak. And it is pay to win. Absolutely, it will be pay to win. There's many people that have gone through it, and it's just, I don't know, man. Like, Diablo 3 was great with my kids, and I can't recommend this to them at all.
No.
And I'm worried about Diablo 4 because they'll be like, well, look how bad Immortal is, and we're going to take some of that away, but, we only have a few things. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're like, this was the worst of it. We'll see how much you buy into it, and then kind of, like, taper off a little bit for Diablo 4. I don't know.
That is scary. Yeah, because
Right?
if they poison Diablo 4 with this type of nonsense, like, my goodness, that'd be so sad.
It would be, and I think that's the problem is, like, you see a great game, and you're like, oh, why did you do this?
you have all the bits.
Yeah.
Like there's everything. It is the most delicious baked pie, and you poison it.
You poison
Like,
it.
you just poison it.
I mean,
Why would you do this?
sell your battle pass or whatever you want, right? Like, that's fine.
Yeah, like again, some like Apex. We just talked about Apex Legends.
Yeah.
And like if my kid was old enough to be into shooters, I could see that being a game like fine, much like a Fortnite or even a Roblox. It's like, all right, it's very clear delineation for how they make money. So be it. We'll just turn it off and you'll play it, right? But like you said, like there's no way you can let your kids play this because it is just so deeply embedded cynically embedded in every aspect of it as to make it absurd and untenable.
Yeah, it really does expose them to a lot of those mechanics, like not in front of your face so much, but like it kind of bleeds it in, which is scary
That's
because
worse.
it's like that psychological, like, hey, look, they're trying to get you to like it because you're level 15, 16, is that what you said? Like
Me? Oh God, no! I'm like a level. Yeah, I am. Sorry, yeah, 15.
right, so it doesn't really introduce anything until maybe 16, 17. So it lets you get used to everything, and then it just starts to like pepper you a little bit,
Yeah.
right? And ratchet it up.
It's as bad as everyone hoped.
So.
Not hoped.
Don't you have phones? Don't you have money?
Don't you have phones? Boo.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
deserved it.
It's really unfortunate. I would have recommended it if it did not have any of that, but you can't even turn it off, man. Like, it's just there. So I
Yeah.
would not expose your kids to it.
I'm probably gonna. I was kind of happily playing it. I will probably turn it off now. I don't know that like.
It's a large game, too. Oh, my God.
Oh wow, yeah, that was like
12
I
gigs or
hope-
something?
Well, you downloaded the first part and it's like 8 gigs.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, thanks for downloading the launch client. Oh, you want to play the game? Oh, that's like another 12.
Yeah.
Hope your internet's up to snuff there, champ. You got a charger nearby?
Yeah, hopefully you're on Wi-Fi right now because things are going to get real dicey.
Oh, so shame.
Yeah.
Just a damn shame.
Go
So,
play Apex. Much
Go
better.
play Apex if you had to play anything.
Yeah.
All right, now speaking of other modes and playing, you played Mario Strikers, and it sounded like it was a bit of an interesting experience. So, as I understand it, Mario Strikers isn't launched yet.
No.
This will be it's Nintendo, so this will be $90 when it launches, and I think it's launching in a couple months. Like it's fairly soon, right?
Yeah, it's got to be even a couple weeks, I want to say, like somewhere in June. Not entirely sure, but I went to the store to download the demo because I saw, it's for Nintendo Online people, which I am not a subscriber of, but they're giving away a week free for anybody that's already taken advantage of it or had become a member. I'm like, fine, let's try it out, right? So I get the Nintendo Online trial set up, download Mario Strikers, and then it's like, hey, this is multiplayer only. That's not open until 11 p.m. at night.
Oh my good word!
What? Why would you do this?
Why?
Just make it the free week. Like, and that was a Saturday at 11 p.m. So it's not even like, I guess other side of the world, maybe they're counting in a different way, but it just didn't make sense.
Why would it be multiplayer only? Like, why
I
not
don't
switch
know. And I was not interested in multiplayer only. I think we've talked about it a lot on the show, like multiplayer with my kids or someone where I don't really have like an obligation to play with. It's a lot easier just to, especially learn a game.
Yeah,
but
just play around.
Online, it is just another story. You're paired up with randoms. You can't talk to them unless you have the chat app, which no one does. And it doesn't even have like that Rocket League style where you can press like, pass or great goal or whatever, the quick chat things. So you're just kind of playing along. It's very silent. And that was it. I was kind of left like, this isn't really a $90 experience to me yet. I hope that it does have an offline mode. I think it does. I saw it in the menu, but that's something that I would like to test out. Hopefully they have another demo kind of coming out with that, because I want to play this with my kids. I don't necessarily want to play it online.
Yeah, it could be good. I mean, like if it's very Smash-like, and there's power-ups. It's like Maniac Fun is more based on soccer, so it's kind of an interesting like sports angle to it.
Yeah,
it could be a good family romp, right? But like it almost does feel a bit shallow. And what a lousy way to do a demo. Like, especially, why would you want to play anybody else in a demo? It's just, I want to practice kicking. I want to know how the heck this thing actually works. Why do I have to play other people?
Well, yeah, and that's just it, right? Like you can go online and see who didn't do the tutorial. And I only did the tutorial because I was waiting until 11 o'clock hit. And there's a lot of mechanics in there that it doesn't really tell you, like from smashing buttons. You have to learn them. So you could be paired up with someone that doesn't know how to play the game against two people that do, and leave like, well, that's the game, I guess. That's it. So I don't know. Just give me
another
bots.
$90 well spent.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I know.
Nintendo.
So we'll see where it goes, but I hope they do another demo. Nintendo, I know you listen to this show. Another demo, please, offline.
Let's
Be
get
great.
it out. All right. And with that pitch Nintendo, let's wrap it up for the week. Any closing thoughts on your beer this week?
It's not too bad. Like, I like it's kind of got like this orange mango taste to it, so it's kind of refreshing. But I will say it hits hard. Like, I am feeling this.
Yeah. That's why the show got progressively better as it went.
Yeah. A little more energy. Yeah. So, but it is good. I will keep this in the rotation. How about you?
Excellent. Yeah. So the Hazy Mariner, the New England style IPA or Pale Ale, delicious. Excellent. Like, is it really great beer? A bit on the hoppy side, but not obnoxious, as I'd said at the outset. So if you can find it, it is brewed in Toronto. So not sure if it's gonna head on out to our friends down in the States, or especially not to our friends over in Australia. But
well, when they come visit, right? They could just pick up one of those
for New Dad Summit 2023
for our Apex Clan meet, right?
Oh my lord! Yeah. Come on, everybody. That's God. New dads. I swear, if any of you can just play a match and post if you become champion in the first one, like I swear it's a thing. It's so great.
Probably a thing, and now I'm very interested in seeing it.
Well, hey man, you're a champion to me. So.
Thanks.
You're the apex of my champion.
You're the apex.
All right, we'll wrap up there for the week. Hey, listeners, you're our champions. You're our apex. And thank you so much for coming with us every single week. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you like the show, you can find us on all your major podcast networks. So that's iTunes, Spotify, Caster, Google Play, anywhere where you get your podcasts. You can subscribe to the show. A subscription to the show really does help us, especially if you can leave a rating and a comment. Helps boost the signal as we try to reach out to as many gaming dads, other Apex fans for our clan going forward. If you want to get a hold of us, you can find us on our website, newdadgaming.com, or on Twitter @newdadgaming. Reaching out to and speaking with other folks who listen has been one of the best parts of the show by far. So we'd love to hear from you folks. Any ideas you have for shows, experiences with beer recommendations, we're definitely looking for as we get started. Apex, mobile experiences, everything in between. We just greatly appreciate you so much. So everyone, thank you so much for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And a champion. And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, also an Apex champion. So
yes. We're Apex world champion.
That's right.
I will have you recall, like, of all the games, you and I tried in Fortnite, we've tried in a few games, but Apex Legends, like I think we were on PS4, was the one game we actually won. Now, we were carried by our one teammate who was like a level 50, whatever.
Yeah.
But we legitimately won that match on PS4.
Now I'm questioning that. I don't know.
No one can take that away from us.
That's right.
We are the Apex champions.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody, thanks so much for listening. Remember, just because you became a dad
doesn't mean it's game over.